Do you see the disturbing symbols in this commercial? Now, let's look a little closer. And he said unto them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Not from earth. F equals sixth letter of the alphabet. We see 3 close-ups of this. The white wolf is likely significant. Mankind's technology facilitating the rival. Five-pointed star hits the ground. Snake-like winding road. 0 edited to resemble Ouroboros, a snake of dragon eating its tail. A car is not the only idea being sold to you.
So there are a lot of satanic and biblical undertones in that Audi commercial, and I want to break it down with you guys and point out a few things. Before I go through this breakdown with you, I want you to listen to 2 Corinthians 4. Therefore, having this ministry by the mercy of God, we do not lose heart, but we have renounced disgraceful, underhanded ways. We refuse to practice cunning or to tamper with God's word, but by the open statement of the truth, we would commend ourselves to everyone's conscience in the sight of God. And even if our gospel is veiled, it is veiled to those who are perishing. Pay attention to this verse. In their case, the God of this world, who is Satan, has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. This says that our message to non-believers is going to be veiled to them because they are already marked for destruction. And then it goes on to tell us, in their case, the ones who are marked for destruction got blinded by the God of this world, Satan. Who do you think runs Hollywood? Who do you think owns all these big companies that make bazillions of dollars a year? Satan is most certainly at the head of every single country on earth. Doesn't matter if they're selling Audis or making commercials in Hollywood. He owns them all. That is why we're getting so many satanic undertones in this commercial. In the original breakdown of this video, it mentions Luke chapter 10. I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven, and that's the symbolism that they are showing in this commercial. In the original breakdown, they knew that the wolf was significant somehow, but it didn't seem like they knew exactly how. If I may throw in my opinion, I'd like to show you guys this. Matthew chapter 7, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. The wolf was white because it was symbolism for wearing sheep's clothing. It's symbolism for Satan disguising himself amongst the world, teaching you the things that you are taught, feeding you the things that you eat, giving you the media, the information, the fear, anything. He is at the top of it. And even though he looks innocent, even though what you're seeing on TV seems innocent, even though the books you're reading seems innocent, even though the doctrine you're getting from your church seems accurate, it may not be. It may be the ravenous wolf coming to you to deceive you. And then we get this possible 666 in the sky, obviously disguised for the masses. When the car is twisting, you can see an F on the hood. Then you get the third 6 here, so 666, and then the 5-pointed star hitting the ground on the ramp, which obviously is a symbol for Satan's star. I found this part interesting. It points out man's technology facilitating the arrival of Satan. If you read the first book of Enoch, it certainly alludes that mankind is going to do something to usher in the end times. And there's a lot of information, especially on TikTok and YouTube, floating around about all this CERN technology. And I mean, we could do a whole video on that, but we don't have time on this one. But I encourage you to look into CERN. There's some crazy stuff going on there. It's even built over ruins that the Bible said the gates of hell are going to be opened from. So just go do some research on that. But this is probably pretty darn accurate. And then at the very end, it pointed out that whole Satan snake where it's eating itself, just a never-ending circle, kind of like Ecclesiastes 1:9 says, what has been is what will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun. And it even says 33 here, right? The age that Christ's ministry ended. 33rd degree Freemasons, the 33rd parallel, all the crazy stuff going on there. This 33 is very significant. Satan is always trying to flip things that are good and holy into things that are evil. So even though the number 33 could be a symbol for Christ, Satan could have stolen it. I mean, perhaps that's why you get the 33rd degree Freemasons, but I don't know. That's just speculation. I'm not on conspiracy talk here. Maybe a little bit, but again, another video. And then you have these TTs. I mean, you could endlessly speculate on what all this could mean. You know, the cross or as above, so below. I mean, any number of things this could be symbolism for. This commercial is steeped in biblical and satanic undertones. He always tells you what he's going to do before he does it, and people don't seem to ever realize that. He told us what he was planning from the very beginning of the book. In Genesis, he always wanted to be God, and the Father in heaven allowed him to take this land for a short period of time. And it is so we could truly experience the free will of making a choice between good and evil, following God or following Satan. God's not going to force on us what he wants us to do. He wants us to make that free will choice. But how can you truly make a free will choice if you don't see both ends of the spectrum? Unfortunately, most people like Satan's world. Even Jesus acknowledges that Satan was given dominion over earth. Matthew 4, when Jesus was being tested in the wilderness, Satan, the devil, took him up on a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And Satan said to Jesus, all these things I will give you if you fall down and worship me. You can't give something that doesn't belong to you. But for true believers, we know that God wins in the end.